Football Extra. My name is Raphael Banaman Kote, and in today's episode, we speak about Benjamin Mendy.
And football fans around the world just would like to hear a few words from you about how you feel.
Alhamdulillah.
Any rape charges, and after 3 years back and forth, 3 years he went for trial, but today he's been finally cleared of all charges, and it speaks to the issues that have been waging on in the last few years about Benjamin Mendy. So let me read to you this tweet that I saw, and it says earlier this year Benjamin Mendy was found not guilty on 6 counts of rape and of 1 sexual assault. The jury, which failed to agree on 2 remaining charges, finally ruled and found him not guilty today. So this sort of issue, is a bit very sensitive in my opinion, and I feel that it's becoming one too plenty that on most occasions I won't even center it to footballers, but people are subjected to rape allegations, and if care is not taken and the right investigations are not done, people end up in jail. They serve jail time, and there have been a lot of cases outside the football scope where people are eventually cleared, their names are cleared from the space of the fact that they actually committed those crimes. And today, Benjamin Mendy's case is no exception, where 3 years ago when this investigations was opened, there have been back and forth, there have been a lot of allegations which were unsubstantiated against this footballer, but today holds the fact that he's been cleared, he's a free man. But let's delve deep and ask certain questions. That what happens to his accusers? Some people have been asking that the fact that his accusers have labeled him a rapist, what happens to them? The fact that he's been cleared, people have been asking a lot of questions, that what happens to the accusers in this regard. So do the police actually file a case against them, or does Mendy get to file a case against them? Because this is a man's reputation that has been soiled. This is a man's reputation that has been hanged. There's a man's reputation that has been placed on hold because of these allegations that has been spun against him in the last few years. And as a result, his club, that is English club Manchester City, actually terminated his contract because they didn't want to have ties with somebody that has been accused of rape. And to an extent, you would understand where they are coming from, because to have one of your employees labeled in that regard an alleged rapist, it soils yourself as a brand, as a club. It soils your identity, because your sponsors will be on your neck, your stakeholders will be on your neck, for you to cut any sort of ties you have with a player in that regard. And in that space, the club had to terminate his contract. So it means that in this few years, there's been clubbing activity for Benjamin Mendy. He's not been playing any active football, and it speaks to the fact that now that he's been cleared of any wrongdoing, how does he relaunch his career? How does he get back into the football scope? Now, very little is known of his next step. Very little is known of what he intends to do in the next few days. But his solicitors actually read that is his statement out, where he said that he wanted to be excluded from any sort of public outing because he wants to maintain his privacy in this particular occasion. So he wants his privacy. He doesn't want to be disturbed. I mean, his first few words after he was cleared of this charge was Alhamdulillah.
And football fans around the world just would like to hear a few words from you about how you feel.
Alhamdulillah.
So it means that he, for an individual, is happy that this whole back and forth is over. And I've seen players like Paul Pogba who've come out to commensurate with him. I mean, he has his French international. They played with the French national team, and they were winners in the 2018, that is FIFA World Cup. He's come out to commensurate and also empathize with him in this particular. There have been a lot of tweets to this regard. People actually patting him on the back. People actually happy with the fact that his name has been cleared. But what happens to the young man? What happens to him? How will he relaunch his career on the face of this particular damning allegations that have been cleared? I, for one, feel that if for anything at all, he turns 29 on Monday. If for anything at all, he could take some time off in order to relaunch his career. I mean, there are clubs in, that is the French Ligue 1, that would probably want to still give him a second chance at football. There's Olympique Lyon, Olympique Marseille, Girondins de Bordeaux, Saint-Etienne, Nice, Lille, Guingamp. These are teams in the French Ligue 1 as well as the second division, the Ligue 2, that could probably seek to give him a chance at football. The Turkish league is also there. I mean, there are a fine host of clubs that he could play for: Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, Kayserispor, Ekenspor. There are teams that could also give him a second chance at football. And there are the Arabians. I mean, now the likes of Al Ittihad, Al Nasser, they are signed players. I mean, if they want to associate with a player like Benjamin Mendy, they could give him a second tint at that is football. So, I mean, today, officially, Benjamin Mendy has been cleared of any wrongdoing. He's a free man and he can walk the face of this earth blameless, because the courts has actually given him that free will to do so. And it begs to the question that, as humans and as footballers, this should be a lesson to them. This should be a lesson on the fact that they need to know how to model their lives, because it's becoming one too many a time. It's becoming repetitive that the rape allegations are becoming one too many. But on the note of this, I'm happy that this guy would have his sanity, will have his reputation back. It's not easy. The depressive mood that he's been subjected to in this last few years, I'm just hoping that he employs counselors, psychologists, therapists that will be able to help him to regain his feet back in football. Because anybody that has gone through this spate in the last 3 years thereof, because football is a lifeline for most of these guys, and the last 3 years he hasn't played any Arctic football. And the fact that he's set to come back again, I don't know what he would want to do, but I'm just hopeful that he gets a second stint at night. 29 years, that is how old he's going to turn on Monday. But I feel that he still has football in him the next 5 years. He could still play active football in this occasion. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, please do so to subscribe to the channel. My name is Raphael Banamankwete, and this is where I end today's episode on sports.